The Empire of Japan. The Nipponese Empire is a power of great power status and should be considered as such by all other nations of the world. And amongst the great power nations, it is of equal standing, or should be therein, especially within its own theater, within the Pacific Theater and the East Asian Theater, and not limited by trade agreements or naval treaties to limit the power of what it could be, this mighty Empire of Japan. The empire struggles with raw resources. It is but a small island nation and requires a global system of trade agreements to attain the resources it requires for its mighty industry. But due to the Great Depression and increased tariffs from America, this nation now struggles to industrialize at the same pace it has seen in the past. Therefore, Japan, what it cannot attain by trade agreements, must attain by other means. Hello friends and gamers, my name is Jinx, and welcome to a brand new YouTube War series called Operation Cerberus. This is for the board game Global War 1936. Now, I'm playing as a nation of Japan, which I think is my favorite nation to play in this game. They have such strategic flexibility as to which direction they can go. I always have a lot of fun playing with them, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun watching these videos as well. Now, I have to give my acknowledgements, and first of all, to the design team of Historical Board Gaming who designed this game. So my thanks go out to you guys for designing such a fantastic game. Now, I highly recommend people buy and play this game. It's very enjoyable. I put hours of fun into this thing. Unfortunately, for this series, I can't play on my physical board game map. I do own map and the pieces for it. I have thousands of dollars worth of pieces, but I don't have the space on my table right now as I have another ongoing game, and neither do I have the time, because when you have a big YouTube war with lots of players, sometimes it takes a bit of time setting up the map and moving all the pieces. And so Tabletop Simulator, because I can use it at work, and especially if I'm working away from home, I can set it up and play it while I'm away and don't have to be in my war room for that. So that's why I'm playing on Tabletop Simulator. Despite I always do appreciate playing with people who are playing on a physical board game table. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. So thanks to the design team for designing a fantastic board game map. Now, I also want to extend my thanks to the design of the workshop mod for Tabletop Simulator for this Global War 36. This one happens to be created by Madman Dan. I believe there's other creators who perhaps did the precursor to this map. Maybe it was Victor, I'm not too sure, but I have to extend my thanks to all the creators who designed this map, Madman Dan, Victor, Silk, and other people who playtested it to create this game that we see here. So very much thank you to you guys for allowing me the opportunity to play on a very lovely map with all lovely pieces, and this one has extra bits and pieces where you can it's somewhat scripted, which can be a lot of fun. And lastly, I want to acknowledge my co-players in this game. There's a few of them, and I might mispronounce their names, and so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna leave it all in the description below, and as I get more familiar with how to pronounce their names, I will be a little bit more free. There's of course people I've played with before, but also a couple new faces as well. So it should be a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed playing with the guys on this group, and I think overall it will be a fun time. There's a sister game going on at the same time, and now the name escapes me just now, but it's ongoing, and the idea is the victors of this game will compete against the victors of the other game, and we'll see what kind of game we could have out of that. So it should be a lot of fun. All right, so let's start my turn. But before that, I guess there's a precursor, a little correction to be made in the case of the communist Chinese here. They struck out against Szechuan, and unfortunately, both the enemy units managed to score a hit each, and so we have to take off an extra mountain infantry from the CCP. And now we turn to the Japanese. So the Japanese have these forces spread out over here, a few fleets and a couple land units. Let's take a look at, I guess, the tech dice first would make the most sense, which I believe is on this side of the table. I'm just going to clone this over here, and we're going to start working on improved construction because I consider that the most valuable one for the Japanese. And I'm also going to bring in a dice over here because there's a chance that we're playing with a little house rule that every time you miss on a dice roll per stage, you get a +1 on your subsequent roll. So that means if you miss 3 times, you get a +3 on your 4th dice roll on that stage. So that's what we're doing because it means that we, overall, the nations, it's not so chancy, right? It's not so chancy that a coin flip that the chaos gods don't roll things as much as they would like. Something like that. Okay, so we're going to roll for improved construction, which is this dice right here. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it. And flip, flip, flip. It's a 1. A decisive miss, so get a +1 on our subsequent dice roll. A 1 is a horrible roll, but there we have it. We've done our roll, so we can't forget that. Moving on to our production here. We have 16 bucks to spend. With that, we're going to get 2 Marines for 4 bucks each, a cavalry and infantry for 3 bucks each, and a militia upgrade for 2. So that works out to a total of 16. All right, turning our attention here to movements on the board, we're going to keep it somewhat easy for everybody, and our entire fleet is going to go to P14, barring our coastal submarines, or ships that move quite slowly, right? So we're going to move some fleet over there. This might take a couple seconds to do. We have a heavy carrier, or a regular carrier, I guess, a light carrier, 2 battleships, and it's all falling over on me. So you know what? I think at the end of the day, I will just lump it all over here, lump it all in a big old pile, and we'll sort it out all later and make it nice and pretty for all our six. I think part of the thing is maybe they have snaps. I don't really know. But anyways, we're going to pile it all together here. And that is the transports as well. Now the transports are going to load up some infantry on their way to P14, which is in the Yellow Sea. And we're only loading up 4 units. So these 3 transports are sufficient for that. We're going to drop 2 infantry, make that 3 infantry, 1 from Hokkaido, Tokyo, and Honshu, and also motorized infantry, and we're going to drop everything off and Rihi with these 3 transports here. Now, of course, we have these forces back here in this corner too, torpedo boat destroyer, battlecruiser, and transport, and a coastal sub here too. So that means our entire navy is sitting in P14, except the coastal subs. Now, this coastal sub is going to move 1 space down to P32 from P14, and in P16, our coastal sub is going to move 1 space down to P34. Sure, why not? P34. Now we turn our attention to we have a couple more ships here. This heavy cruiser can make it there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this submarine, 1, 2, 3. Yep, that one can make it there as well. Because why not? Let's throw it all in one big old pile right there. I think that's about it. Sure, why not? I think that will work out okay. All right. Yeah, all right. I think that's okay. Moving on now to our land forces here in Manchuria. From northern Manchuria, we're sending mountain infantry to Rihi. From Korea to Rihi, 1 infantry as well. We're sending 2 infantry from eastern Manchuria to Rihi, and 1 cavalry from eastern Manchuria to Rihi as well. All right, turning our attention to our air force, I suppose. From Okinawa to Formosa, 1 seaplane. We don't have space on carriers. I thought we did initially, but we don't. So these 2 fighters are going to land in Korea. Sorry, these 3 fighters, 1 from Tokyo, and 2 tactical bombers, rather, from Honshu are going to land in Korea. So you have 3 aircraft in Korea. Now, to my knowledge, there's nothing in Primorsky Krai that can hit us. And so Korea is, we're not open to border skirmishes. Now, one of the things, too, that we did talk about over WhatsApp about signing the Soviet-Japanese Pact. Now, he did offer or ask if I was going to sign it. I did respond that I would like to sign it, but I don't know if he mentioned in his video if we are going to sign it or not. Right now, it might just be a wide open kind of thing where nobody knows, but I'd like to sign it. And so if he has mentioned signing it, then consider it signed. All right. I believe that's it for land forces, for Navy forces, and air forces. I think that about does it for all intents and purposes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? Maybe I'll send in 2, 3. I'm gonna actually send all these tactical fighters here, or all these aircraft here, because that gives us lots of flexibility. Because that way we can attack the Chinese from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we'd have to do a switcheroo with some of the carriers, but that gives us flexibility for at least some of these units along this. We can hit these 3 territories. This one here we'd have to hit with drop-off troops on the carrier, and likewise these ones here as well. That's going to be a tough one. Well, you know what? I'm going to just leave it as is right now and keep them in this position. I think that's what we'll do. I think that about settles it. Okay, now we go to place units on the board, and we'll see what the results are. We have, hold on, let me just take a quick look, because we want to be able to hit Peking too as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, we could hit Peking. 1, 2, 3, 4, we could hit Hope with 3 units landing on the carriers. Sorry, with a total of 6 aircraft. I think that's enough. 3 off the carrier hitting Shantung, 3 off the island hitting Hope landing on the carrier, and that way we could threaten the entire coast north to south. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only issue is Suyan, but I don't know if we'd extend ourselves to that degree. into Suyan. That's a tough one. Okay, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna leave it here. We'll settle with that for right now. Okay, leaving at that, and now we turn our attention to place units on the board. We're gonna have our cavalry placed in Rihi, and then our militia upgrade is in Formosa. Getting infantry out of the deal. Here we go. And our 2 marines and infantry are going to be placed in, what's this one? Kyushu? Yeah, Kyushu. And there we have it. That's our forces. Now I might have muddled it up a little bit with the aircraft. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, maybe I messed it up a little bit. Maybe they're not perfect choice. But you know what? I don't intend on attacking next turn anyways, unless something really opens up. Or maybe I will. We'll have to see. Now that might be a bluff. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you all for watching, and check out the next person's channel, which I will attempt to figure out. I believe it is 5-star general, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you all. Cheers.